What's going on, everybody? This is uh this is your friend Matthew Reardon. We the People News. I got a new thing with Outlawed Productions. Okay, and I was gonna do a special tonight to follow up on the Morgan County issue because I feel like that needs to be followed up on with some of the latest news. Actually, the public doesn't even know about the latest that has transpired, about how ridiculous they have taken things. Um, but I figured, it's a little bit late tonight. I don't think I'm really going to get into that tonight. I think I'm going to probably save that for this weekend, probably for tomorrow. I might touch on it briefly, but I did want to touch on something else, especially with it being midnight um, on the East Coast. I want to do a midnight jam session. Okay, so one of the ways um, I've tried to I've tried to not lack in the creativity department, and this is just one way that I see fit to hold these people accountable for the egregious acts that they committed. Public officials, you know, government employees, if they if they earn their way onto my list, they're probably going to wind up on something like this right here. I'm waiting for the next one to act stupid. So, uh, what I want to do, okay, um, got an album that I'm going to be releasing for free, and it's called Bad Actors. Not going to sell it. I just want to freely give it out. I retain the rights to every song on this album, and I want to show first of all. Let's see. I want to show first of all, right here. The what you see right here is SoundCloud. Okay, if you go to soundcloud.com, if you type in Outlawed Productions, you will bring up my channel. You will see the Bad Actors album. Still got the pissed off Patriot cover, but I've changed everything over to Outlawed Productions. This is originally what I'd started up for video production. I think it's also got a very good use um, for the music. So I want to let's see, where are we at? I want to play some music. I did this almost a week ago, and people got a good taste of what's coming up on the album. I'm just going to let it play through, let you hear what's on there. And like I said, please go to soundcloud.com and check it out. Give me a follow, share the music. Hope you enjoy. Whoa. Sorry about that. Hold on a second. So let me start that over. Um, I think I know what happened right there. It's got it's got a monitor on somewhere. Um, oh shit! Need my mouse for something like this. Uh, yep, monitor. All right, let's go back and start that over again. Here we go.
This ain't just journalism, it's war against the truth. And North Mississippi's got blood on its hands. Every camera lens is a loaded weapon. Let the record show, we're done being silent. Silence ain't consent, we speak, we rise, we march. Flashing lights, steel cuffs, truth behind the bars. Doxing our names, playing dirty in the dark, but we pen our pain in verses, this is where it starts. Silence ain't consent, we fight, we bleed, we write. Every shutter snaps a bullet aimed to bring the light. North Mississippi got a storm brewing tight. This one's for the scribes in the shadows of the night. They call it justice, but it's rigged from the gate. Cameras confiscated, truth sealed by the state. Badge heavy hands, trying to shutter the scene. When the press rolls through, they erase what we mean. Oxford to Batesville, they plot in the shade, feeding fear to the jurors while the charges get made. Faux dogs get arrested just for showing the lines, but who draws the lines? Who reaps the fines? I seen the smirk on the sheriff's face when the truth got close and he tried to erase the footage, the facts, the First Amendment's light. Now we bring it back raw, uncut, full fight. Silence ain't consent, we speak, we rise, we march. Flashing lights, steel cuffs, truth behind the bars. Doxing our names, playing dirty in the dark, but we pen our pain in verses, this is where it starts. Silence ain't consent, we fight, we bleed, we write. Every shutter snaps a bullet aimed to bring the light. North Mississippi got a storm brewing tight. This one's for the scribes in the shadows of the night. Now imagine, your lens becomes your noose. Each photo you snap could make you the accused. When journalism's tagged criminal threat, you realize the badge is scared of the cassette. DHS fed goons, backroom threats. Emails leak, private lives on deck. They dox you fast, spread lies with class, and prosecute your truth while they cover their tracks. The mayor's in the shadows, the cops pull strings. Every courthouse door got political wings, and the journalist bleeds, not with guns but ink. It stains the dirt where their conscience sinks. So Northern's ain't consent, we speak, we rise, we march. Flashing lights, steel cuffs, truth behind the bars. Doxing our names, playing dirty in the dark, but we pen our pain in verses, this is where it starts. Silence ain't consent, we fight, we bleed, we write. Every shutter snaps a bullet aimed to bring the light. North Mississippi got a storm brewing tight. This one's for the scribes in the shadows of the night. North Mississippi, you try to kill the pen, but you forged a sword when you jailed these men. Every silence you forced now shouts from the grave. Every lie you told now births the brave. This is bigger than one, it's a nationwide call. You bury the truth, we tear down the wall. We write through the raids, the threats, the shame. Your courthouse steps gon' remember the name. You can break bones, but the signal's lit. The file's alive, and the people won't quit. So when the boots march in and the sky turns red, know the revolution's voice ain't never been dead. This is for every camera shattered, every record buried, every truth silenced by fear. Mississippi, we heard you, and now you gon' hear us. They broke the chains, but I walked out free. Every scar they carved just empowered me. 2017, Lafayette's chokehold grip. Sheriff's badge turned to a power trip. Mississippi flag in my righteous hand. Public sidewalk where free citizens stand. Timmy Pruitt rolled up with manufactured rage. No permit, lies wrapped me in a cage. Asked for his badge number, exercise my right. They cuffed me up in broad Mississippi daylight. Video went viral, whole county shook. They fired back with a felony book. False stalking charge, legal masquerade. All to indemnify the mess they made. 2018, November's bitter frost. Lizzie Crowder, weaponized what mattered most. Filed false rape, turned love to a courtroom game. 2 years grinding through manufactured shame. 2020 she pled out, escaped the cell. Paid her fine while my world went to hell. Support for Lydia suddenly flipped and betrayed. 4 years lost, no father-daughter serenade. No bedtime stories, no calls relayed. Just silence where our laughter used to cascade. December 2021, the storm returned. Alcorns ripped while Lafayette bridges burned. Joey East crew snatched me ice cold. No evaluation, no facts, no lawful hold. Tupelo's walls, padded bed confinement. North Miss meds clouding my mental alignment. February 22, they came once more. Alcorns fabrications walked through the door. Newborn son in the ER sacred light. They cuffed me up, stole that holy night. 7 days in solitary's concrete cave. Then East Miss pharmaceuticals to enslave. June 2020, 22, walked through the hall. Oxford City standing dignified and tall. Camera rolling, made a clerk request. Public records, constitutional quest. But they twisted it, spun their narrative line. Mayor claimed fear to blur the constitutional line. Dusted off that restraining order from 17. Weaponized fresh for a felony scene. Charged with stalking for walking through City Hall. For asking questions, for standing up tall. October 22, I fought the machine again. Marched the FBI, laid truth before federal men. Oxford office, evidence carefully laid. But Beavers and Kilpatrick sharpened their blade. November 1st, revoked my parole. November 3rd, they swallowed me whole. Kilpatrick campaign, riding on my back. Used my persecution to advance her political track. Prison walls, months carved in stone. Paid the price, stood defiant alone. August 23, Galveston, suffocating heat. Journalist on assignment, working the street. Allstein's traffic stop, perfectly staged night. False default, we had charged, no sobriety test in sight. 11 months buried, holding my breath. Extradited back to face judicial death. July 24, kangaroo court show. 2-year sentence with zero proof to show. But January 25, post-conviction win. January 22nd, I walk free again. February 1st, Utah's deceptive call. Latent ground, but predatory eyes on all. Sesames reached across state lines, spinning webs with defamatory signs. Rich and spread poison wide. Roaring 39 names caught in their slanderous tide. Orrington blocked, Grammar's light. Layton City officials dimmed constitutional sight. March 28th, I dialed that phone. City Hall reception, cold as stone. March 31st, faced federal walls. Salt Lake City, where justice calls. They demanded ID, background inspection. I said no. Constitutional protection took my place. Circled my car, still went live, raised awareness far. But the cruelest wound that still remains, Crowder's war, these invisible chains. Lydia's voice, 4 years stolen away. No good night hugs, no Father's Day. Mother and daughter separated by lies. While I break through these court-constructed skies. Filed lawsuits, align the names. Sesames, McCutcheon, their corruption games. Arrington Shield, Layton's wall. Oxford's influence, spanning it all. For Lydia's future, for truth's bright flame. For everything stolen, for clearing my name. This is the anthem, the reckoning beat. Stripped to silence, back on my feet. This ain't over, this is the ascension. Next verse I drop breaks through that dimension. From Lafayette's mud to Galveston's bars, to Layton's walls and federal scar. Yes, I'm the voice they tried to silence through fear, but I'm amplified now, crystal clear.
Osteen light, Osteen light.
Yeah. Yo, it started in Galveston, a Friday night trap. They staged the scene clean, but I ain't falling for that. Osteen rolled up with a smirk and a scheme. Weaponized the badge like a thug with a beam. I wasn't swerving, no test, no line, no walk, no slurred speech, no stumbling, just malicious talk. He lied in his report, flat out fabrication. Tried to ruin my life with no justification. I asked for a lawyer, they mocked and delayed. Dragged me through hell just to boost that charade. UTMB got involved, held me down, drew blood, violated policy. 6 cops in the flood, no consent, no cause. This was torture and white. A needle in my arm in the middle of the night. The car got towed, my keys disappeared. They auctioned off my ride, corruption engineered. You lied, now it's in black and white. Dismissed in court cause the facts ain't right. No walk, no test, no probable cause. Just a badge and a fraud breaking all the laws. The truth came out, now the record's clear. You framed the wrong man, now the world gone here. Followed the Frank's motion, broke the silence apart. Exposed the deception, the abuse at the heart. Osteen claimed signs, but the footage said none. No sway, no stutter, no impaired run, but the cuffs went on. They cuffed me tight, violated my rights in the cover of night. No evidence, no crime, just a preset plan to crush a journalist, a truth-telling man. Dismissed without prejudice, that phrase don't hide. The DA couldn't prove it cause the whole case died. You made me miss court, made me miss my kids, made my wife cry while you covered your fibs. You held Mississippi, the cross-state crew tried to bury the facts, now I'm coming for you. She lied, now it's in black and white. Dismissed in court cause the facts ain't right. No walk, no test, no probable cause. Just a badge and a fraud breaking all the laws. The truth came out, now the record's clear. You framed the wrong man, now the world gone here. August 11th 2023, the night they thought they'd bury me. No breathalyzer, no field sobriety, just cuffs, blood, retaliation. A journalist in chains for exposing too much truth. They stole my car, they stole my peace. They couldn't steal the facts, and now the facts are marching back. You think this over? Nah, this just begun. Your name's in my feelings and I'm far from done. Civil suit Cummins, 1983, 3 flame. You gon' wish you never played that game. Falsified affidavit, malicious intent. The court's gonna see where your lies were spent. UTMB, you too, got blood on your hands. Letting cops run torture like it's part of your plans. This ain't just a rap, it's a warning bell to every dirty badger thinks they won't tell. You can fake a report, but you can't fake fate. Truth don't die, it retaliates. Osteen lied, now it's in black and white. Dismissed in court cause the facts ain't right. No walk, no test, no probable cause. Just a badge and a fraud breaking all the laws. The truth came out, now the record's clear. You framed the wrong man, now the world gon' hear. I've been watching from the shadows, through the lies you spun so tight. Every word you bent against me, every wrong you set in flight. You thought the system was your puppet, thought the court would never see. But baby, truth, the storm you can't outrun, and it's rushing in on me. You played judge, you played executioner. You stole the years I can't reclaim. Dragged my name through mud and fire, left me shackled with the blame. But tonight the winds are changing, justice breathes its warning low. You're gonna taste the cage you built when the gavel drops its blow. And I can feel it in the shadows tonight. Oh Lord, the reckon's near, the scales turn right. I've waited for this day through hell and fight. You'll stand where I stood in that prison light, but you'll wear the chains you earned. You won't outrun the day of truth, the day you come undone. You and your crowd of liars, the co-conspirators you raised, signed false papers, whisper stories, thought you'd never face the blaze. But evidence is a silent hunter. It never sleeps, it never fades. Now the wolves are at your doorstep, girl, they're howling out your name. You mocked the courtroom, mocked the truth, built your throne on broken oaths. But I've been stitching every record, every file you thought was ghost. I see the prison doors wide open, they're not waiting here for me. You and your circle dance the circle, but the sinner's crumbling free. And I can feel it in the shadows tonight. Oh Lord, the reckoning's near, the scales turn right. I've waited for this day through hell and fight. You'll stand where I stood in that prison light, but you'll wear the chains you earned. You won't outrun the day of truth, the day you come undone. You weren't alone in pulling strings, no. You had the hands of men and suits, the court's cold echo. Sheriff's clerks, attorneys blind, they played your wicked game. But the reckoning ain't blind, no, it remembers every name. There's a ledger in the dark, girl, it's carved in stone. Every co-conspirator's marked, standing on their own. They thought they'd never answer, thought they'd never fall. But justice has a long reach, it's coming for them all. You can't hide behind the false smiles now, the tape, the files, the witness crowd. Every lie you signed has a cost, you see. The iron bars don't bend for plea. I carried the weight, I bore the scars, but your reckoning's coming, no matter how far. In the silence of night, you'll hear the knock. That's justice whispering at your locked doors block. And I can feel it in the shadows tonight. Oh Lord, the reckoning's near, the scales turn right. I've waited for this day through hell and fight. You'll stand where I stood in that prison light, but you'll wear the chains you earned. You won't outrun the day of truth, the day you come undone. Yeah, the day of truth, the day you come undone. Yo, she spun the lies, wrapped tight in the court's hall. Signed affidavits under oath, watch her stumble, watch her fall. She cried wolf, played the victim, hands out, cash grab. But the records say different, I'm here to snatch that mask. Child support, bank wide, send text receipts in hand. While she's in the system, double dipping on the stand. Told the judge I was delinquent, hell no, I paid. Every month on the 15th, direct deposits made. While I sat in that cell, unjustly confined, she's out forging the storylines, crossing every damn line. AG's office on the line, I told him it's a scam. Documented fraud, but they passed the buck again. I got receipts, bank statements, court petitions filed. But crowd of shady games been robbing me of my child. Double dipped, crowd played the game. Signed false claims just to stain my name. You can lie to the court, but you can't fake truth. These records right here, proof stacked, bulletproof. Double dipped, she took what she ain't due, milked the system dry, made the debt balloon. But now the house of cards crumbles under the facts. Phyllis Crowder, you're exposed, no coming back. Court orders tossed like confetti, contempt on display. She blocked visitation, hijacked Father's Day. Claims she never filed, but the docs say she did. Swore under penalty, girl, perjury's a bid. 2018, cooked up a false rape charge, but the police flipped the script. Crowder's lies too large, warrants issued on her, false reports at play. Yet somehow I'm the one dragged in court every day. 4 years, no contact, while she fed the court lies. Told them I'm a threat, while she schemed on the side. Her lawyer's in on the hustle, ethics out the door, this ain't custody. It's a straight up legal war, I'm done biting my tongue. Now the records speak, discovery files, transcripts, this ain't for the weak. Dipped, Crowder played the game, signed false claims just to stain my name. You can lie to the court, but you can't fake truth. These records right here, proof stacked, bulletproof. Double dipped, she took what she ain't due, milked the system dry, made the debt balloon. But now the house of cards crumbles under the facts. Phyllis Crowder, you're exposed, no coming back. Call logs, AG calls, child support tapes. You dug your own hole with every fake claim you made. Told Young Williams you weren't getting paid, wrong. Bank wires landed monthly all along. Now I'm here on the mic, laying it bare. You weaponize the courts, but justice plays fair. Fraud Fraudulent affidavits, contemptuous acts. I'm stacking this evidence like legal combat. You see, truth's a sharp blade and it cuts through the spin. No more hiding, Crowder, your game's wearing thin. This ain't about hate, it's about setting things right. For every father denied, for every sleepless night. So here's your reckoning, delivered in rhyme. Fraud don't stand when it's cornered by time. Yo, Crowder, you gamble, thought you'd never fall. But these files, these transcripts, they tell it all. It's not just the money, it's the years you stole. It's the father-daughter bond that you broke for control. Now I'm flipping the script, reclaiming my name. This expose raps a legal hurricane. Yo, flip the page, please, foul stack tall. Crowder called in claims that don't hold up at all. First a drone said I'm flying over skies, but deputy saw planes, no drone in sight. Every time she dialed, they came, they checked, negative contact. Her story wrecked, pointing up at jets, saying that's his tech. Girl, the only thing flying here is your lies on deck. 2018, dropped a bomb, false rape report, but the cops flipped back, filed on her in court, warrant out for Crowder, false charges made. Yet somehow I'm the one who's been dragged in cage. Sex tape claims, come on, get real. Cooked up fantasies, nothing to seal. You weaponize fear, turn fiction to fight, but the records expose you, black and white. A pattern of deceit, a web you spun, but the more you weave, the closer truth comes. Sheriff's reports, court docs, every damn file stacking up against you, mile after mile. So here's the call out on this final beat. Crowder, your empire's built on deceit. Your downfall ain't coming, it's already here. Signed, sealed, delivered, crystal clear. Double dipped, and you thought no one know, but the paper trails loud like a courtroom blow. I stand relentless, I stand with proof. Crowder, your reign ends, here's the truth.
Yo, let me drop some truth right here in the booth. About documents and disputes, the whole darn proof. From olive branch cases to police reports filed. Lizzie Crowder's story, running wild. This ain't no fiction, it's a legal non-fiction. From the police blotter to court's jurisdiction. Paper trail stacking, evidence in sight. In the pursuit of justice, shining a light. May 2017, a drone in the sky. Matt Reardon's device caught Lizzie's eye. Over 22 CR 422, it flew low and bright, loud and clear in the fading light. She heard it, she saw it above the trees, but officers arrived, couldn't see what she sees. Her mother confirmed it's still there, no lie, but the deputy saw planes just passing by. They checked the sober house, asked if anyone knew about the drone's presence, but they said no, it's true. This drone drama continued, a consistent refrain. Lizzie swore it was Matt's again and again, even when officers claimed it was just a plane. She insisted, I know for a fact it's causing me pain. A persistent report through sun and through rain. This aerial surveillance driving her insane. Now let's switch the scene to a video claim. Maddie showing footage, fueling the flame. Lizzie said Maddie was mad cause she cleaned Matt's place. A paid chore, no romance, at a rapid pace. But Maddie went through Matt's computer, pulled files, so it's told. Her video snatched, a story to unfold. Saved to her phone for the world to see. To Dustin, Kester, and Edward, sent so freely. Matt knew for a week, but kept it under wraps. Lizzie just found out, caught in these traps. She wanted something done against Maddie that day for showing the video in a harmful way. A serious accusation, a claim that was wild. Another false report, meticulously filed. Switching the scene now to Olive Branch's court. Phyllis Crowder's case, a serious report, false reporting the crime. The charge was laid, $1,000 fine and a debt to be paid. 30 days jail time, a heavy decree for a story of assault that was found to be Matthew Reardon, her ex, and the father of her child, accused of an act that left her defiled. But text and phone downloads told a different tale. Consensual encounter beyond the pale. Evidence mounted, supporting his plea. The allegation was false for all eyes to see. Appeal dismissed later. Jurisdiction denied. The judgment from municipal court couldn't be sidestepped or defied. A cost of $113,1925 for the appeal's might. Justice in motion, bringing truth to the light. Bringing truth to the light. This ain't no fiction, it's a legal non-fiction. From the police blotter to court's jurisdiction, paper trail stacking, evidence in sight, in the pursuit of justice, shining a light. This ain't no fiction, it's a legal non-fiction. From the police blotter to court's jurisdiction, paper trail stacking, evidence in sight, in the pursuit of justice, shining a light.
Midnight wheels rolling slow down a coastal Texas line. No drinks, no buzz, just a clear head and peace of mind. Then a bad stepped out with a smirk and a plan. Said, this one's an otter, not your average man. He ignored the law, he ignored my breath. Wrote up a script that would fake me to death. Eyes weren't glassy, words weren't slurred, but he made up a storm from things never heard. They signed a warrant for a lie, drew my blood and watched me cry. Said I smelled like booze, hell I hadn't drank in years. But the truth don't matter when the system's run by fear. They jailed me up and threw away the key. While my kids asked, Daddy, when you coming free? It was murder of the truth in a badge and tie. They locked me down on a warrant for a lie. UTMB hands with needles like knives. Didn't show no paper, didn't care about rights. Already stood there, knew it wasn't just. But back the blue line, let me bleed in the dust. Meanwhile back east, they were ringing the phone. Mississippi snakes with a thirst for my bones. James and Beavers, Busby too. Sent lies through the wire like it was all true. They signed a warrant for a lie, drew my blood and watched me cry. Said I smelled like booze, hell I hadn't drank in years. But the truth don't matter when the system's run by fear. They jailed me up and threw away the key. While my name got dragged through Galveston Sea, they made a felony out of thin blue sky, just to silence my voice with a warrant for a lie. And the blood test said 0, the indictment said 3. But the math don't work when justice don't see. No breath test, no cause, no crime that night. Just a badge with a grudge and a vendetta to ride. Now I'm free, but the fight's still burning hot. And I'll name every bastard till justice is got. Filed my case, put truth on the line. Every false word's coming back in time. Just soon I'm exposing it all, from Galveston streets to that Mississippi hole. They tried to bury me, thought I'd break or die, but I rose from the dirt with a fire in my eyes. They signed a warrant for a lie, drew my blood and watched me cry. But I'm singing louder now, my story don't bend, and I'll fight these devils straight through to the end. Cause the truth stood up and the charges died, and I've still got my name, my grit, my pride. No man should ever be crucified by the stroke of a pen on a warrant for a lie.
Yeah, it won't last long. It won't last long. Caught red-handed, their lies laid bare. Public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they'd control, but justice is burning, exposing their soul. They built this on deceit, but the cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for seeds they've sown. Down in Galveston, it started that night.
Austin and Doherty turned wrong into right. Said I was drunk, claimed the smell in the air, but no alcohol touched me, their proof wasn't there. They locked me up 11 months in a cell, fabricated charges of personal hell. They twisted the law, made me a pawn, but their conspiracy's unraveling, it won't last long. A growing plot, their power abused, but I'm breaking the chains, their lies are diffused. The truth's on my side and it's ready to speak, exposing their game, bringing justice to the weak.
Heavy-handed, their lies laid bare. Public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they'd control, but justice is burning, exposing their soul. They built this on deceit, but the cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for seeds they've sown.
Extradited from Galveston back to Lafayette 2 weeks before trial, the lies were set. Then Ben Creekmore played his false hand, fictitious evidence in his corrupt plan. Judge Tolleson fell for the charade they showed. 2 years in prison down a dark road. Austin hit the stand, swore oath after oath, but his lies cracked under the weight of my growth. July 18th, they thought they'd won, but justice don't sleep, the truth has begun. The house of cards is shaking, ready to fall. I'm standing tall, calling out them all.
Red-handed, their lies laid bare. Public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they'd control, but justice is burning, exposing their soul. They built this on deceit, but their cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for seeds they've sown.
Beavers and James played the dirty part, conspired with Galveston to tear me apart. Busby sent falsehood straight to the district attorney, but when the heat came down, it was so concerning. A snake in the grass hiding behind his crew, but the truth reveals everything they do. Their lies run deep, but justice runs deeper. Each betrayal exposed, the climb's getting steeper. They thought they'd silence me, bury my voice, but now it's my time and I've made my choice to shine a light, to make sure they pay. Justice is coming, and it's here to stay.
I rolled into town with a target on my back. Didn't drink, didn't swerve, didn't fall off track, but flagged my name, sent the wolves my way. Said he's from Mississippi, he won't get away. One call from the shadows, one night to the blue. In Galveston PD, they did what they were told to do. Lights in my eyes, cuffs behind my spine. No breath test, no rights, just a DOJ line. They threw me down, said I was wrong, held me captive for 11 months long. No blood, no buzz, no proof, no fight, just a setup cook in the dead of night. Yeah, they framed me strong, but I'm singing this song 'cause I've been gone 11 months too long. Back in Mississippi, the game was fixed. They lied, they revoked, they pulled dirty tricks. Said there were prize, said I'd done this before, but the record was clear, they needed one more. Got a nurse named McDougal to draw that line, but the chart was clean, not a trace of wine. Still they filed the charge, still they pushed the case, with Lafayette ghosts in a Texas place. They threw me down, said I was wrong, held me captive for 11 months long. No blood, no buzz, no proof, no fight, just a setup cook in the dead of night. Yeah, they framed me strong, but I'm singing 11 months too long. The deputies lied, the DA smiled, cross-state revenge served southern style. Busby facts, lies across the line. Appeal, what appeal? He said that boy's mine. But the truth got legs and the truth runs deep. Now they're the ones who can't sleep. A journalist jailed, a father erased. No due process, just a show trial disgrace. They bet I'd fold, thought I'd plead, but I broke those chains and planted a seed. From the Gulf Coast wind to the courthouse halls, I etched my name in those concrete walls. Reardon's the name, justice is the flame, and I'll burn down every inch of this rigged ass game. They threw me down, said I was wrong, held me captive for 11 months long. But I'm back, I'm loud, I'm bringing the fight, exposing every dirty cop in sight. Yeah, they framed me strong, but I'm singing this song 'cause I've been gone. 11 months too long. Ain't no badge gonna muzzle my voice. Ain't no jail gonna bury the truth. This is Matthew Worden, and I got names to name.
Yo, it started in Galveston, a Friday night trap. They staged the scene clean, but I ain't falling for that. Osteen rolled up with a smirk and a scheme. Weaponized the badge like a thug with a beam. I wasn't swerving, no test, no line to walk, no slurred speech, no stumbling, just malicious talk. He lied in his report, flat out fabrication. Tried to ruin my life with no justification. I asked for a lawyer, they mocked and delayed. Dragged me through hell just to boost they charade. UTMB got involved, held me down, drew blood. Violated policies, 6 cops in the flood. No consent, no cause, this was torture and white. A needle in my arm in the middle of the night. The car got towed, my keys disappeared. They auctioned off my ride, corruption engineered. Osteen lied, now it's in black and white. Dismissed in court cause the facts ain't right. No walk, no test, no probable cause. Just a badge and a fraud, breaking all the laws. The truth came out, now the record's clear. You framed the wrong man, now the world gone here. Father Frank's motion broke the silence apart. Exposed the deception, the abuse at the heart. Osteen claimed signs, but the footage said none. No sway, no stutter, no impaired run. But the cuffs went on, they cuffed me tight. Violated my rights in the cover of night. No evidence, no crime, just a preset plan to crush a journalist, a truth-telling man. Dismissed without prejudice, that phrase don't hide. The DA couldn't prove it cause the whole case died. You made me miss court, made me miss my kids. Made my wife cry while you covered your fibs. You helped Mississippi, the cross-state crew. Tried to bury the facts, now I'm coming for you. Osteen lied, now it's in black and white. Dismissed in court cause the facts ain't right. No walk, no test, no probable cause. Just a badge and a fraud, breaking all the laws. The truth came out, now the record's clear. You framed the wrong man, now the world gone here.
Yeah, August 11th, 2023. The night they thought they'd bury me. No breathalyzer, no field sobriety. Just cuffs, blood retaliation. A journalist in chains for exposing too much truth. They stole my car, they stole my peace. But they couldn't steal the facts, and now the facts are marching back.
You think this over? Nah, this just begun. Your name's in my filings and I'm far from done. Civil suit Cummins, 1983 flame. You gon' wish you never played that game. Falsified affidavit, malicious intent. The court's gonna see where your lives were spent. You TMB, you too, got blood on your hands. Letting cops run torture like it's part of your plans. This ain't just a rap, it's a warning bell to every dirty badge that thinks they won't tell. You can fake a report, but you can't fake fate. Truth don't die, it retaliate. Osteen lied, now it's in black and white. Dismissed in court cause the facts ain't right. No walk, no test, no probable cause. Just a badge and a fraud, breaking all the laws. The truth came out, now the record's clear. You framed the wrong man, now red-handed, their lies laid bare. These public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they'd control, but justice is burning, exposing their soul. They built this on deceit, but their cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for the seeds they've sown. Down in Galveston, it started that night. Osteen and Doretti turned wrong into right. Said I was drunk, claimed the smell in the air, but no alcohol touched me, their proof wasn't there. They locked me up 11 months in a cell. Fabricated charges, a personal hell. They twisted the law, made me a pawn, but their conspiracies unravel and it won't last long. A growing plot, their power abused, but I'm breaking the chains, their lies are diffused. The truth's on my side and it's ready to speak, exposing their game, bringing justice to the weak. Caught red-handed, their lies laid bare. These public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they control, but justice is burning, exposing their soul. They built this on deceit, but their cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for the seeds they've sown. Extradited from Galveston back to Lafayette. 2 weeks before trial, the lies were set. Then Ben Creekmore played his false hand, fictitious evidence in his corrupt plan. Judge Tolleson fell for the charade they showed. 2 years in prison, down a dark road. Osteen hit the stand, swore oath after oath, but his lies cracked under the weight of my growth. July 18th, they thought they'd won, but justice don't sleep, the truth has begun. Their house of cards is shaking, ready to fall. I'm standing tall, calling out them all. Caught red-handed, their lies laid bare. These public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they control. Sentence vacated, exposing their soul. They built it on deceit, but the cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for the seeds they've sown. Candy Beavers, Hobie James played their dirty part, conspired with Galveston to tear me apart. Jeff Busby sent false statements to the district attorney, and when the heat came down, it was so concerning. A snake in the grass hiding behind his crew, but the truth reveals everything they do. Their lies run deep, but justice runs deeper. Each betrayal exposed, the climb's getting steeper. They thought they'd silence me, bury my voice, but now it's my time and I've made my choice to shine a light, make sure these criminals pay. Justice is coming and it's here to stay. I lost it all, but I've still got the fight. Damn right, the truth's a weapon cutting through the night. The sentence declared unlawful, the order vacated. I'm vindicated, liberated, and of course I'm elated. Caught red-handed, their lies laid bare. These public officials thought nobody would care. A conspiracy deep, but the truth's coming through. The system's cracking, now they'll pay their due. Lies and corruption, they thought they control. Sentence vacated, exposing their soul. They built it on deceit, but their cover is blown. Now the guilty must answer for the seeds they've sown. Yeah, all right, damn right, the truth's a weapon, cutting through the night. The sentence declared unlawful, the order vacated. I'm vindicated.
Yo. They told me sit down, but I pulled up the chair. Told them I'm the wrong one to frame, I swear. Back in 2017, they drew first blood. Called it stalking, fabricated the mud. No mayor involved, just a target on me. Cause I spoke too loud in the land of the free. Oxford, Mississippi, deep in that game. Twisting laws like ropes, tying up my name. Sesam's on the move, McCutcheon in the mix. All eyes on me when I'm...
Okay. Yeah, y'all should hear me now. All right. So, I should have had this book published. Actually, April 15th was what I was shooting for. American Injustice. It's in its final proofreading. stage right now. I had to pull it back because I had to make some changes to it. Hold on one second. All right. So so I had to pull this thing back, make a couple of changes to it, and I am and I spoke to a news company yesterday that took interest in everything that was going on over in Galveston. And so, um, what I did was I put together a chapter by chapter summary because I couldn't just send the manuscript over. Um, okay, I was wondering where that sound was coming from. It's my cell phone. All right, so I want to go through this just so you can see. So this is a summary of each chapter in the book. Um, let's see. All right, so you got the introduction, a sobering warning about the erosion of constitutional rights. Y'all have heard the introduction, the 5 minute introduction that's on um, my YouTube channel as well as on my website, WTPnews.org. Also got it on LafayetteMS.net. Um, but the introduction, the preface is what you hear right there. Okay. So I want to touch on. There's no need in me going over that because that's on that 5 minute teaser right there. Hey, it's good. Let me take a second to give some shout outs. What's up, Josephine? Thank you for tuning in. Um, okay, you cannot hear me. All right, let me turn it up. Okay. Whoa, that is not what I. There we go. Hey, can you hear me better now? If it's not any better, then I know what to do. Let me zoom out. Let's see. Um, volume is at 100% right there. So that's all the way up. Let me turn this up. All right, that should be good. All right. Yep. That's it. Do you hear me better now? I know I can hear me better now. So good deal. Hey, good to see you, Josephine. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for bringing Michael over to the channel. Um, so I've got this actually live on two different channels right now. So I'm not really sure what's going on the other channel on Lafayette County Audit. Let's see. Okay. All right. So I want to go over the chapter by chapter summary of this book. Okay. Just so you can kind of see for yourself. It's a real thing. It's something that I've put a ton of work in. The manuscript on it is 75,000 words. It's going to be about a 275-page book, 300-page book. Um, so, and I've got this chapter by chapter summary basically done in a third person perspective. Um, so, chapter one documents the May 1st, 2017 incident where the author, me, conducted a silent protest at the Lafayette County Courthouse holding the Mississippi state flag while legally carrying a firearm. The author was arrested uh, when he merely asked Deputy Timmy Pruitt for his badge number, a constitutionally protected action explicitly cited in the arrest report. Whoa, okay. Yeah, I can't hear myself either. All right. I can't hear myself either. All right, it's back up now. Um, all right. There it is. Sorry about that. I'm not really sure what happened right there. Other than I guess it recognized my mouse and turned or the touchpad and turned um the audio down. So let me find my window again. All right. So this chapter establishes the pattern of using pretext to punish constitutionally protected activity, revealing how law enforcement was weaponized against legitimate political expression. Chapter 2, A City Hall Suppressed, recounts the May 16, 2017 Oxford Board of Aldermen meeting, um, where I attempted to speak during the public comments portion about the flag removal. Despite following proper procedures to register as a speaker, Mayor Pat Patterson falsely claimed that I hadn't registered properly, then abruptly adjourned the entire meeting to prevent public discourse. When I called officials cultural Marxist, they were immediately ordered to leave the building, demonstrating how procedural rules were manipulated to silence political criticism. Let's see, Chapter 3, the setup. All right, make sure it's still good. Details a calculated sequence of events at Frank and Marley's Piano Bar on May 19, 2017, where owner Ashley Lynch deliberately provoked me by throwing away food that I had purchased after refusing a reconciliation attempt. The chapter reveals how this seemingly routine conflict was engineered to bait me into a reaction that could later be weaponized. The narrative connects this incident to the author's or to my subsequent legal purchase of an AR-15 rifle on May 20th, a transaction whose documentation would later prove crucial in exposing fabricated charges. Chapter 4, The Paper Noose, analyzes the May 22nd, 2017 temporary restraining order filed by Robin Tannehill, running unopposed for mayor, and her husband, which contained demonstrably false claims about me making threats with firearms. Allegations contradicted by existing police reports stating that I was not a threat. The chapter exposes the strategic timing of this legal action, filed just before an important Board of Aldermen meeting where I planned to speak. This Board of Aldermen meeting was also the same day that Tannehill would be elected mayor. It's June 6, 2017. Documents how Judge Glenn Alderson signed the procedurally defective order, despite the Tannehill's failure to pay the mandatory security bond required by Mississippi law. Chapter 5, The Constitution Tested, chronicles my May 24, 2017 visit to the U.S. Attorney's Office, where they presented evidence of constitutional violations to Assistant U.S. Attorney Bob Norman, who arranged an immediate meeting with FBI agents. Despite initially appearing to take the constitutional violation seriously, federal authorities ultimately took no action to protect my rights. Following this institutional failure, I conducted a constitutional stress test by openly carrying a firearm, actually two of them. It's an AR-15 and a pistol, in accordance with Mississippi law, which police documented as entirely legal, creating a critical contradiction with Tannehill's restraining order allegations. Let's see. Everything's still good on the audio? Let's see. Let me turn mine up. Everything's still good on the audio? Okay. Chapter 6, The Ambush. Details my May 26, 2017 arrest for aggravated stalking. Let me do this. Aggravated stalking. Carried out by high-ranking officers who ambushed me with excessive force. The charge alleged that I had threatened Todd and Ashley Lynch with an AR-15 rifle on or before May 8th, 2017, an impossibility since documentation proved that I hadn't purchased the rifle until May 20th. The chapter reveals how the legal system in Lafayette County had been weaponized to frame me for a crime that could not possibly have been committed, using a deliberately fabricated charge to silence political dissent. Chapter 7, Coerced Confession, exposes the systematic psychological and economic pressure applied to coerce me into accepting a plea deal despite having exculpatory evidence. My attorney, Brennan Horan, had an undisclosed conflict of interest through his connection to Ray Tannehill. The plea agreement ultimately forced upon me included 5 years supervised probation, banishment from Lafayette County, forfeiture of firearms, and a waiver of the right to sue for civil rights violations representing a comprehensive erasure of constitutional rights through coerced legal mechanisms. Chapter 8, A False Accusation Weaponized, documents how my ex-girlfriend, Liz Crowder, fabricated a rape accusation in 2018 as part of the continuing campaign against me. Despite me having conclusive evidence disproving the accusation, investigators initially focused on verifying the exonerating evidence rather than questioning the accuser's claims. When Crowder was eventually charged with filing a false report of rape, she received minimal consequences, highlighting the disparity in how the legal system treated different parties. Crowder later used Child Protective Services to prevent me from seeing my child, exploiting the systemic vulnerabilities created by the previous pattern of persecution. This was during the time of the Me Too movement. She was one of those Me Toos. Chapter 9, The Breaking Point, recounts the December 2020 incident where I attempted to meet with Sheriff Joey East after Department of Child Protective Services directed me to address Phyllis Crowder's false invocation of Child Services Authority to prevent access to my child. After multiple ignored emails with confirmed read receipts, I waited in the sheriff's office parking lot, resulting in a violent arrest by Deputy Dixon for disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. Sheriff East personally intervened to extend my detention by invoking a special authority to delay bond processing, demonstrating how even attempts to follow proper governmental channels resulted in further constitutional violations. Chapter 10, The Battle for Evidence, details my methodical legal efforts in January 2021 to challenge the December 2020 arrest, including filing motions for dismissal and a subpoena for surveillance footage that would exonerate me. The county responded with a motion to quash the subpoena, refusing to produce the most critical camera footage while acknowledging its existence. This chapter illustrates how the systemic withholding of exculpatory evidence formed a crucial tactic in the ongoing campaign against me, as well as how the financial burden of evidence battles created additional barriers to justice through calculated economic pressure. Chapter 11, the February 2021 DUI incident. The 2021 DUI incident represents a calculated manipulation of law enforcement procedures to fabricate charges against me. Despite passing field sobriety tests, I was arrested based on claims of marijuana odor, yet searches yield no physical evidence. So Here's the thing about that. They took me away from the site to the jail to take a field sobriety test that they destroyed the camera evidence on. The only two things that I was faulted on that test was that I couldn't support my body weight on one knee, on one leg, even though I told the officer, the deputy up front, I had a motorcycle wreck and I can't, I have issues with one leg, that flares up. Can't put all my weight on it. Um, and she faulted me for that and faulted me for doing a military style about face turn when getting to the end of the line, walking the straight line. None of those are signs of intoxication by marijuana. Anyways, there was no blood taken. There was no testing. Okay. They got rid of the camera evidence. I know I passed the field sobriety test, but that's exactly why you don't take field sobriety tests right there. Okay, because they're engineered to fail. They're subjective. That comes into play with why I refused the test in Galveston. But um, so deputies violated protocol by transporting me to jail without consent for conducting tests while conveniently losing video evidence that would have documented me passing the sobriety test. Most tellingly, authorities released the supposedly odorous vehicle to my wife, undermining their own justification for the arrest. This incident exemplifies a systematic approach to targeting dissent in Lafayette County, involving multiple deputies, supervisors, and ultimately the sheriff himself. The strategic loss of exculpatory evidence, particularly video footage that would have contradicted the deputy's testimony, reveals a pattern of evidence manipulation working in concert with financial pressure tactics to create a multi-dimensional pressure for capitulation. Let's go down to chapter 12. Drone incident and growing tensions. On September 29, 2021, a simple recreational drone flight with my stepdaughter photographed the American flag at the Justice Court building, escalated into another confrontation with law enforcement. After the drone accidentally clipped the building and crash landed, several Lafayette County Sheriff's deputies and Oxford police officers arrived in what appeared to be a disproportionate response. The confrontation took a disturbing turn when my 7-year-old stepdaughter asked, "Mr. Matt, are those police officers going to shoot you?" revealing how visible the pattern of hostility had become, that even a child could perceive the danger. Chief Deputy Mills led an aggressive interrogation demanding information about commercial drone licensing, despite my despite my explanation that this was recreational activity with my stepdaughter. After approximately 20 to 30 minutes of questioning, exceeding the time permitted for a Terry stop without reasonable suspicion, I stated that they had exhausted their legal authority to detain me. Mills threatened to refer the matter over to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and actually he did, and subsequent public record requests for officer reports and body camera footage were refused, citing an ongoing investigation that conveniently remained open. This incident revealed how the harassment campaign was now affecting innocent children, with my stepdaughter questioning about police violence, demonstrating the psychological impact on family members witnessing the systematic targeting. Chapter 13, the November 2021 trial. On November 4th, 2021, I faced trial on 9 separate charges accumulated over the past year, including cases from the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department and my ex, Phyllis Crowder. The confluence of these cases represented a coordinated effort to overwhelm me legally and financially. Judge Childers denied a motion for video recording but permitted audio recording, with a court reporter present, something highly unusual for a justice court trial, suggesting anticipated scrutiny. The prosecution presented the February 2021 DUI case first, where deputies' testimony revealed procedural irregularities, including transporting me to jail instead of conducting field sobriety tests at the scene and searching a vehicle allegedly reeking of marijuana that yielded no drugs or paraphernalia. The second set of charges, disorderly conduct and resisting arrest, um, from December 2020 revealed significant discrepancies between deputies' written reports and sworn testimony. Audio recordings demonstrated I never refused to move my vehicle, contradicting deputies' claims. Sheriff East's testimony included characterizing the forceful takedown as a female being assaulted and acknowledging that requested video evidence was gone forever. The final set of charges from my ex collapsed under scrutiny as fabricated claims. After nearly 3 weeks, Judge Childers delivered verdicts just before Thanksgiving. Guilty on all charges brought by the Sheriff's Department. Not guilty on all charges brought by Crowder. A pattern suggesting any charge controlled by the Lafayette County power structure resulted in conviction regardless of evidence, while charges no longer useful to the county's narrative were dismissed. Chapter 14, Chancery Court Chess Game. Throughout my legal battles with Lafayette County authorities, a parallel war was waged in Chancery Court over my relationship with my daughter, Lydia. The custody disputes with my ex, Phyllis Crowder, were integral to the larger campaign, functioning as another front in the effort to break my spirit and drain my resources. From the end of our relationship, Crowder weaponized my child and the family court system, turning straightforward visitation arrangements into an endless series of obstacles, false allegations, and legal maneuvers designed to separate me from my daughter and deplete my finances through continuous litigation. A particularly egregious example occurred in January 2020 when Crowder was finally arrested for filing a false report of rape against me. After which she immediately retaliated, blocking all access to my daughter, falsely claiming the Department of Child Protective Services instructed her to prevent contact. The strategic coordination between Crowder's actions and Lafayette County authorities became increasingly apparent, with Crowder filing a flurry of criminal complaints against me after I was charged with multiple offenses by the Sheriff's Department. Most disturbing was Crowder's representation by attorney Christy McCoy of the Earlene Gardner Victims Assistance Project, using resources from a Department of Justice Victims Fund, effectively providing free legal representation to someone criminally charged with filing a false report of rape, using victim services to represent the real victim's attacker. And now you can kind of see why the Department of Justice is stonewalling me today. Because they have, this thing stretches back a long time. Chapter 15, the December 2021 Appeal and Commitment. On December 3rd, 2021, I filed an appeal to Lafayette County Circuit Court, simultaneously filed a motion seeking either a new trial or dismissal of the verdict, citing perjured testimony, missing evidence, and procedural irregularities. Deputy Circuit Clerk China Sinervo informed me that my case had been assigned to Judge Kent Smith through a random algorithm. 3 days later, I discovered the assigned judge had been changed to Judge John Kelly Luther. The second time I had witnessed this exact manipulation occur with my cases in Lafayette County Circuit Court. When I sought answers from the Circuit Court clerk, Jeff Busby instructed all clerks not to answer his questions and denied witnessing records being changed. The following day, December 7th, 2 Lafayette County Sheriff's deputies arrived at my home with a writ for commitment, signed earlier that day, ordering me to be taken into custody for involuntary mental health evaluation. The basis was an affidavit by Rachel Alcorn, a supervisor at Communicare, claiming that I go into public places recording. I'm paranoid and delusional. I provoke people with my minor child, not taking medication, and not seeking medical help. I remained committed until December 23rd, 2021. 5 days later, in a recorded phone call, Alcorn admitted that she had been approached by Sheriff East about my concerning behavior at the courthouse, and this communication was the basis for her filing the affidavit for commitment, essentially transcribing unverified claims from an interested party into a sworn affidavit that resulted in deprivation of liberty. Chapter 16, Retaliation in a Family in Crisis. By early February 2022, I completed a formal complaint against Communicare, meticulously documenting violations of Mississippi's mental health laws and federal case precedents. The complaint served on Communicare's executive director and Chancery Court Judge Lawrence Little detailed how Rachel Alcorn had received inaccurate, untrue, and defamatory information from Sheriff Joey East and used it to initiate my commitment. Immediately after serving these documents and requesting financial disclosures from the Sheriff's Department about the Lafayette County Law Enforcement Officers Association, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that's actually run by the sheriff of Lafayette County, as well as the deputy sheriff. I wanted to comb it over for any kind of irregularities to see if there was any funny business going on with everything else that had happened. Um, so, right here, what happens was um, the very next day after that, another Communicare employee, and actually, what's odd about this is it was Susan Beard who was a Communicare employee, but it was also seconded by Rachel Alcorn. Her signature is on there as well. Um, they file another affidavit to commit me. Uh, the stated reason was that I had failed to attend a scheduled appointment. Uh, as I said, it was seconded by Rachel Alcorn, the same supervisor implicated in the complaint, and presented to Judge Lawrence Little, who had received a copy of the complaint against Communicare as well. Okay. On February 9th, my wife called with pregnancy complications. She was pregnant with my son. We drove to the hospital in Tupelo. After being discharged around 11 o'clock p.m. that night, we returned home where a Lafayette County Sheriff's deputy, which turned into multiple, but followed us into the driveway, and executed another commitment order. I was forcibly taken into custody and transported to the Lafayette County Detention Center, where I spent 7 days in solitary confinement without due process. On February 17th, I was transported to the East Mississippi State Hospital in Meridian, Mississippi, 2.5 hours south, where I learned devastating news. The stress of witnessing my unlawful detention had triggered my wife's premature labor, resulting in an emergency C-section delivery of our son at 28 weeks gestation, weighing 2 pounds and an ounce. Um, I was not allowed to attend the birth of my child, to be there for my child, to be there for my wife. And I was stuck in the East Mississippi State Hospital for 30 days, all in a retaliation stunt. And what's crazy is, it's they did they weren't even they didn't even try to cleverly hide it. These two commitments that happened in 2 months' time literally came the following day after the first time. It was after I had discovered the records changed and had gone in to ask how the records could have been changed. By the way, this stuff is on it's on We the People News. If you go to WTPnews.org, you can actually see all the evidence. You can actually hear where the deputy clerk is telling me that it's assigned to this one judge. It's done via random algorithm, and then see where it's changed. Okay, there was no delusions. Okay, it's all documented and it's all on the website. And all of this cause serious, life altering just injuries. My son has still got a feeding tube coming out of his stomach. He's 3 years old. He's not on oxygen anymore, but his lungs were not fully developed. He was in Le Bonheur Hospital fighting for his life for about 6 months, almost the first year of his life. And to this day, he still has a feeding tube. He's still fed with a feeding tube. Um, so, wife had to recover from emergency surgery all alone. It's a callous disregard for human life that transcended previous abuses of power. Chapter 17, the federal lawsuit. By March 19, 2022, when I was discharged from the East Mississippi State Hospital, my life had been systematically dismantled by Lafayette County authorities. Um, my newborn son remained in critical condition, requiring a ventilator. My wife was recovering from an emergency C-section. Our 3 older children had been traumatized. I had been falsely labeled with a psychiatric condition. Recognizing local remedies were exhausted, on April 6, 2022, I completed a nearly 80-page federal complaint detailing the systematic abuses. Before filing, I contacted Assistant U.S. Attorney Bob Norman, who admitted that despite his December promise to refer the case to the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, he had never done so, explaining, "I heard you were going to file a federal lawsuit, and if you're going to file a federal lawsuit, I wasn't going to refer the matter out." The federal complaint meticulously documented the pattern of harassment, false arrest, fraudulent commitments, and constitutional violations spanning multiple years. Naming the state of Mississippi, Lafayette County, the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Joey East, Communicare, its director, Dr. Sandy Rogers, and employees who facilitated the fraudulent commitments. The complaint, grounded in 42 U.S. Code 1983, alleged violations of multiple constitutional provisions: First Amendment violations, retaliation for protected speech, suppression of petitioning activities, interference with press freedoms, Fourth Amendment violations, false arrests without probable cause, and due process violations related to involuntary commitments. The amended complaint increased damages sought to $2.5 million in compensatory and $25 million in punitive damages. On June 7, 2022, the federal judge reviewed the complaint and approved it to advance forward, ordering the U.S. Marshals Service to serve all defendants. A significant procedural victory, validating the substantive nature of the allegations. Chapter 18, the legal battle expands. By June 2022, the federal lawsuit was working its way through the system, with the U.S. Marshals Service serving defendants. On June 24th, 2000, and actually, I just caught that. So that's actually a typo. I need to go and double check the manuscript. I'm pretty sure it's June 20th in there. I don't know why it shows right here in the chapter by chapter summary. It was actually June 20th, 2022. I conducted a First Amendment audit of Oxford City Hall. My purpose in there was to make a public record request, but I was also video documenting my presence. I just started doing these audits. It's a recognized form of citizen journalism designed to test public officials' respect for constitutional rights. While quietly filming public areas, I was approached by Oxford Police Lieutenant Kevin Parker, who claimed Mayor Robin Tannehill allegedly had a restraining order against me from 2017, 5 years earlier, that Parker claimed was still active. I was ordered to leave with Captain Lyon's warning that if I returned to City Hall, I would be arrested for trespassing in violation of the restraining order. Rather than dropping the matter, Oxford Police Chief Jeff McCutcheon referred the incident to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, resulting in a felony charge of aggravated stalking, citing the First Amendment audit and tweets posted during Tannehill's re-election campaign the year prior as evidence of a course of conduct directed at the mayor. He actually put in this affidavit that it manifested fear throughout Lafayette County. These tweets, these I've actually got the tweets on an article that exposes this stuff. Okay, the truth for what it is, because they just want to sweep it under the table, and that's not going to happen. On June 28, 2022, as I entered Lafayette County Chancery Court for a child custody hearing, I was arrested on this warrant. Judge Kent Smith set the bail at $10,000, but Assistant DA Tiffany Kilpatrick moved to revoke the bond altogether, which was granted. The judge further ordered a mental health examination and competency hearing, continuing the pattern of weaponizing the mental health system. My initially assigned public defender, Mitchell Driscoll, was mysteriously replaced with Mark McClinton from New Albany. The felony aggravated stalking charge served multiple strategic purposes, removing me from public circulation when defendants in my federal lawsuit, were being served, creating a pretext for continued monitoring through bond conditions, forcing diversion of resources from the federal lawsuit to criminal defense, reinforcing the narrative that I was dangerous rather than a journalist documenting government abuses, and sending a chilling message to other potential government critics. Chapter 19, The Family Torn Apart. My ongoing legal battles inflicted profound damage on my relationship with my daughter Lydia, transforming a personal tragedy into a systematic case of parental alienation. Beginning with false allegations from 2018, I experienced methodical interference with court-ordered visitation that escalated into complete denial of access for over a year by summer of 2022. Each attempt to exercise my visitation rights triggered manufactured emergencies or false allegations that created investigative delays, effectively weaponizing family court processes against me. So I want to say about that, I I haven't seen or talked to my oldest daughter Lydia since summer of 2022. Meanwhile, I've paid child support every month. It's been withheld from a little bit of residual income that I have left now. She was getting $600 a month in child support. That miraculously got lowered to $400, but it's way out of whack, and I haven't talked to or seen my child because of this monster. Um, Chapter 20, Patterns of Corruption Exposed. As my legal battles continued through 2022, previously disconnected incidents revealed themselves as components of a systematic approach of silencing dissent in Lafayette County. The pattern began with my May 2017 arrest for peacefully protesting the Mississippi state flag, continued with escalating tactics, fabricated charges, excessive bail, pressure to accept plea deals, and coordinated action across multiple agencies. Particularly disturbing was the selective preservation of evidence. Video footage that would have exonerated me mysteriously disappeared, despite specific discovery requests, while evidence supporting the prosecution's narrative was meticulously preserved. Additional patterns emerged: manipulation of court records, including unexplained changes to randomly assigned judges, weaponization of the mental health system through involuntary commitments, through challenges to following challenges to official misconduct, collaboration between agencies that should function as checks on each other's power, and exploitation of financial pressures through excessive bail manipulation of child support obligations. The timing of key events revealed coordinated action. My wife's my wife's job termination coincided precisely with potential plea negotiations. And my second commitment occurred immediately after requesting financial disclosures from the Lafayette County Law Enforcement Officers Association. These patterns revealed a system that valued revenue over justice and operated on two tiers, one for those who challenged authority and another for everyone else. 21. Constitutional rights in jeopardy. The systematic targeting of me the systematic targeting I experienced represented a fundamental threat to constitutional governance beyond personal injustice. First Amendment violations were particularly blatant. 2017 arrest for displaying the Mississippi state flag, the arrest for disorderly conduct when petitioning Sheriff East, 2022 felony stalking charge based on a First Amendment audit, and social media posts criticizing an elected official directly contravened Supreme Court precedent, protecting political speech. These violations weren't mere mistakes, but deliberate targeting based on content and viewpoint, precisely what the Constitution forbids. Kind of speed this up a little bit because I'm ready to end it. I know it's been going for a while, and I got stuff I've got to go do. Chapter 22: Holly Springs and the FBI call. In October 2022, eyewitnessed police misconduct in Holly Springs and attempted to report it to federal authorities, triggering the next phase in Lafayette County's campaign against me. On October 28th, I contacted the FBI office in Oxford, explaining my banishment restrictions and asking about appointment procedures. The FBI representative informed me that they didn't schedule formal appointments, but invited me to come within the next hour and a half. Following established protocol, I immediately called Lafayette County Sheriff's Department to notify them of my need to enter Oxford, speaking with Deputy Candace Beavers, explaining the situation. Upon arriving at the FBI office, I found no agent immediately available. Rather than leave without fulfilling my purpose, I waited approximately 2 hours in my car. A fact contradicting any suggestion that my visit was pretextual. When no agents returned, I called Deputy Beavers again to inform her that I was leaving Oxford. Despite following every reasonable protocol, my actions were twisted into evidence of a probation violation, with the sheriff's department characterizing my communication as deception rather than the required notification. At the November 3rd revocation hearing, Judge Tollison found by a preponderance of the evidence that I had violated my banishment and imposed a 1-year prison sentence, punishment not for misconduct, but for attempting to report misconduct by other officials to federal authorities. The timing was particularly suspect, coming just days after I had filed a motion to withdraw my guilty plea. 23. Galveston into prolonged detention. On August 1st, 2023, after serving 9 months in prison following the November 2022 revocation hearing, I was finally released. Freedom brought both exhilaration and disorientation after missing nearly a year of my children's life, including continued medical challenges faced by my premature son. My wife had endured tremendous financial and emotional burdens maintaining our family during my incarceration. This period of relative peace lasted just 9 days before the pattern of targeting resumed. On August 10th, 2023, after having learned about serious allegations of misconduct, and that was a typo on my chapter guide right there. It was I had tips of racial profiling going on with the Galveston Police Department. I decided to travel to Galveston, Texas, seeking a fresh start away from the ongoing persecution in Mississippi. This journey represented more than physical distance. It was an attempt to break free from the cycle of retaliatory actions that had defined the past 6 years of my life. At approximately 2 a.m. on August 11th, just as I crossed into Texas, I was pulled over by stop was by Officer William Osteen of the Galveston Police Department, initiating what should have been a routine traffic stop, but would evolve into another confrontation with law enforcement. Chapter 24: Vindication and New Beginnings. After enduring nearly 11 months in Galveston County Jail following an August 2023 arrest, which, as we know, was completely false. They claimed that he had smelled alcohol. I hadn't touched a drop of alcohol for 3 or 4 years. Wouldn't give me a breathalyzer. And I was extradited back to Mississippi to continue my legal battle. The turning point came on November 26, 2024, when my attorney, Jacob Howard of the MacArthur Justice Center, filed a comprehensive petition for post-conviction relief, meticulously documenting multiple constitutional violations throughout my case. The petition highlighted evidence that I had properly notified authorities before entering Oxford to visit the FBI office, directly contradicting the grounds for my probation revocation. Also showing in there that I had that the 2021 DUI was open on appeal. It couldn't have been used to elevate the DWI over in Galveston, Texas, to a felony charge. Um, so yeah, long story short, January 21st, 2025, court vacates my sentence entirely. Um, I get released from prison January 22nd, and a week later, basically, February 1st, I moved to Layton, Utah. Um, Most people should know what's gone on since then. I was illegally surveilled by the Oxford, Mississippi Police Department. Within days of moving down there, they had researched my address, even though I hadn't given the address to anybody. I didn't even know the address myself. I had just signed a lease. Um, False information was disseminated to 139 law enforcement officers, including my address and my private information. I was labeled um, as a persistent issue to the department, and that's led to a big lawsuit filed over there. Um, that's also brought light on major issues with the FBI, particularly the FBI office over in Salt Lake City. Um, and a lot of things happened over in Utah. Um, a lot. And they are documented in full on WTPnews.org. Please go there. I'll go ahead and cut this live stream. It's been going for a while. I'm tired of being on it, honestly. Um, I'm ready to go smoke a cigarette. So I appreciate you tuning in, checking this out. Now you know. Oh, I didn't realize that this was actually cut off, or part of my document was cut off as I was reading it, because I wasn't looking at the broadcast screen. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a good night. I'm going to try to come back live tomorrow, and I'm going to have a story for you about Morgan County, about the latest, about how low they have stooped, um, and trying to block record request. Okay, it's they've really taken this thing to the furthest extreme, and they need to be checked on that power. Okay, um, I think other than that, let me see. Other than that, I'm gonna I'm gonna play one more song, and then I'm gonna end it after the end of this song. And this song right here is my story. And honestly, it's my favorite one off of this upcoming album, Bad Actors. And it's gonna be track number 2. It's Unbroken. And
August
I'm going
14th,
to
2024. A man with a camera, no weapon, no threat, just work. Yet Joshua Grover was arrested in Morgan County, not for what he did, but for what he represented, transparency. And when I, a journalist, asked for answers, they came at me too, with silence, denial, and retaliation, dressed as policy. I filed a lawful gram and had the statute in my hand.
They broke the chains, but I walked out free. Every scar they carved just empowered me. 2017, Lafayette's chokehold grip. Sheriff's Bank.
It's fear, it's fraud, it's fiction. You gaslighted hard in your petty jurisdiction. Refused my waiver, called it not in public interest, yet admitted the request might help the public witness. They thought a P.O. box was some form of deception, but that box is protection from past government aggression. You know my story, Mississippi tried to dox me. Now Utah joins the list of those who wanna box me. Kylie Earl hit reply like she didn't even read. Matt Wilson rubber stamped it with retaliatory speed. And Garrett Smith, man, he coached the whole team, then claimed he couldn't see why I'd ever want to scream. Morgan County can't run from the truth. The files don't lie and the law is the proof. You try to bury light under
Buried under anticipated litigate.
that ain't privilege, that's manipulation.
They broke the chains, but I walked out free. Every
hoping red tape could suffocate, but your cover-up's leaking like a basement drain. And every withheld line adds weight to my claim. You say let the process play, but that's your crutch. The court's already ruled you've obstructed too